widely noted that LeBron James, the King, is one of the most controversial players in the NBA. In his 19-year career in the league, he has received a lot of criticism and backlash from players, coaches, and especially from fans. But today, we're going to turn the tide and look at LeBron's most disrespectful moments. They say don't cross the boss, well, you shouldn't mess with the King either. Madison Square Garden is considered the mecca of basketball because it is seen to have memorable moments in the world of hoops. From Kobe's 61 points to Steph Curry's 11 threes in a game. But does it include this? So in 2017, LeBron James and the Cavs were holding a very comfortable lead that they were just waiting for the game to end. But in the closing moments, the cameras caught LeBron and the Cavs flipping a water bottle. LeBron James said after the game that they were just having fun. But what makes this disrespectful is that they're playing against the Knicks in Madison Square Garden, which the president at the time was Phil Jackson. There was a little bit of feud between LeBron and Phil when LeBron got offended by Phil's comments towards his business associates. In an interview, LeBron said he lost all respect towards Phil Jackson. Upon knowing this, maybe LeBron had a little motive while playing on the bench with the water bottle challenge. Imagine getting back at someone by just using water bottles. The times that we live in, guys. Now, if you thought that was disrespectful, you wouldn't believe what LeBron did to Ben Simmons on this next one. Ben Simmons is one of the most unique and talented players in the league. Despite this, the league is well aware of the holes he has in his game, especially shooting. For LeBron, the secret to defending Simmons wasn't anything new. In a game between the Lakers and the Sixers, LeBron James was tasked to defend the 6'10" point guard. Knowing that Simmons has a very poor shooting percentage, LeBron stood in the shaded area, leaving Simmons behind on the three-point line. We can see in this clip how far LeBron is when guarding Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons attempted the three, but it failed. It seems LeBron may have revealed the secrets on defending Ben Simmons. But let's be honest, guys, until he has a jumper, everyone knows how to defend Ben Simmons. No cap. And wouldn't you believe it, guys? We got another moment where LeBron James disrespects the Knicks in the same year in the same place. You see, LeBron had to put Frank Ntilikina, who was a rookie at this time, in his place. You see, LeBron made a statement to the Knicks that Dennis Smith Jr. should have been drafted at number 8 during the 2017 draft, but ended up getting selected by the Mavs at the 9th pick. The Knicks instead draft Frank Ntilikina, who's a high floor spacing prospect from France. LeBron's comments were considered a final shot at Knicks president Phil Jackson, whom LeBron was feuding at the time. LeBron's comments did not sit well with some of the Knicks players, including Kristaps Porzingis and Enes Kanter. Porzingis and Kanter both made statements that they have no problems with Frank and they are happy with him on the team. During the first meeting between the Cavs and the Knicks in the 2017-2018 season, this happened. We can see from this video that LeBron James is the instigator. Frank shoved LeBron when he was picking up the ball, in which LeBron could have just walked around, but he wouldn't get out of the way. Mad respect for Ntilikina, though, for not backing down against the King, who was flexing when Ntilikina shoved him. Enes Kanter, who backed up Ntilikina, got in the face of LeBron when he said he couldn't let LeBron disrespect his team. Hold on a minute. When has Enes Kanter defended anyone? Remember when he had KD on his team and he didn't defend him? Imagine trying to be a tough guy against LeBron when you've never been a tough guy in your career? Stop the cap. Now in this next one, guys, I just want to explain. LeBron is a gentleman. He has a wife, he has a daughter, and he respects all women in different platforms. You can even see him on social media and supporting the WNBA and coming out to the WNBA games. But for this next one, guys, he really could care less about this chick. You see, in 2021, the NBA was allowing fans to attend arenas again during the COVID shutdown. And during this particular game with the Lakers and Hawks, this fan decided to give LeBron a piece of her mind. You see, LeBron James was confronted by a fan named Juliana Carlos during his team's matchup with the Hawks, who were heckling LeBron during the game. They were escorted out by security along with 3 others. Carlos said a lot of words in her social media and showed her frustration for being kicked out. She also appeared to think that she was entitled to abuse James because she had courtside seats that she paid for. The fans were quick to side with LeBron and dubbed Carlos as Courtside Karen. Carlos claims that she was simply defending her husband after both were jawing at each other. Then she said LeBron looked at her husband and cussed him out. Carlos said this to LeBron: "Don't talk to my husband. Talk to my husband one more time and I will you up." She said that LeBron started talking with her and said, "Shut your mouth, dumb." LeBron said in an interview that he didn't believe that Carlos and her husband should have been kicked out. It was just a back and forth between 2 grown men. However, LeBron came out on top as he tweeted, "Courtside Karen was mad," and people, even players, joined in on the fun. Now guys, I'm glad Savannah James wasn't there, because if she was there, she would have knocked out Juliana. It would have been lights out for her. All that 15 seconds of clout just to get banned from an arena. That's tough. Would y'all date Juliana Carlos? Let me know in the comment section. I know I wouldn't date Juliana Carlos because my celebrity crush is Madison Pettis, but that's another video for another day. If you thought LeBron mocking a fan was terrible, this is even worse, because in this one, him and his buddy D Wade mock a legend. See, during the 2011 finals, Dirk was suffering from flu-like symptoms since Game 4. Before Game 5's tip-off, a video surfaced about LeBron and D Wade mocking Dirk by coughing and jokingly discussing how they were getting sick. How dare they have the audacity to make fun of the legend Dirk Nowitzki? So Dirk and his teammates, like MJ in The Last Dance, they took it personally. So Dirk and the Mavs went on to defeat the Miami Heat in 6 games, and it was known as one of the greatest finals runs in NBA history. Corey Brewer, a teammate of Dirk, said this: "If you make fun of the big guy, you're making fun of everybody." And I guess that's the kind of way we went out there and played. Now, LeBron didn't get the best of this, but you gotta admit, I mean, that's just crazy going after a legend like that. But ever since that finals loss, LeBron has won 10 out of his last 12 games against Dirk. So you could say LeBron really did get the last laugh. Now, in the 2011 finals, Dirk did have a partner in crime named Jason Terry, who also was a big contributor in the Mavs finals run. Now, in 2013, LeBron James and the Heat were facing the Boston Celtics, who were their biggest rivals at the time. Days before their game, the Celtics were asked their opinions about the Heat's current winning streak. First, Paul Pierce said, "I hope that they lose every game and the rest of the season." Then Jason Terry chimed in with this: "I'm not really impressed with it or anything that they do." Ouch, that is not what you say the day before you go up against LeBron. Now, LeBron does remember Jason Terry being part of the 2011 finals run, and there's no love lost between these two. Fast forward to their game midway through the second quarter, and this happens.
Chalmers, Paul, James! Whoa!
Now, LeBron was a pretty big fan of this dunk. He even said this: "It's one of my better ones, and the fact that it happened to JT makes it even that much sweeter, because we all know that JT talks too much sometimes. I'm glad it happened to him." And to this day, Jason Terry still can't figure out why he tried to stop LeBron going up for a dunk. And what's crazy is he still gets text messages about that. But one thing's for sure, I think Jason Terry is now impressed with LeBron. Now, we all know LeBron is a savage, but he's been a menace to society since day one. You see, in 2004, Metta World Peace, also known as Ron Artest at the time, won the Defensive Player of the Year and was feared across the league for his extreme physical game during his time with the Pacers. But LeBron James has never been afraid of anyone ever since he entered the league. The 18-year-old LeBron James went on to face Ron Artest and the Indiana Pacers, and during the game, LeBron drained a shot over Ron Artest. After making the shot, LeBron looked at the bench and said, "Is this your best defender?" Artest was very furious when he heard that and said he wanted to fight LeBron for disrespecting him. But Artest really couldn't do anything as LeBron outplayed him and scored 25 on him. Man, LeBron has a knack for triggering people, guys. And for this next one, I think he went way too far. Because he didn't just trigger anybody, any Joe Smo. He triggered the GOAT. You see, it's no secret that LeBron James' idol growing up is Michael Jordan. LeBron has been living in Michael Jordan's shadow ever since he entered the league. In a recent interview, LeBron revealed that he is motivated by chasing the ghost of Michael Jordan. Fast forward to 2014, LeBron and the Miami Heat played the Charlotte Bobcats in the first round of the playoffs. The Heat dominated the first two games and were looking to take a 3-0 lead. But Game 3 proved to be just like the first two games, and clearly the Bobcats were no match to the Miami Heat. Near the end of the third quarter, LeBron had a steal and finished with a one-handed slam. But as he was doing the slam, he stared down at the bench where his idol, Michael Jordan, was sitting. And this happened.
Steal, you get on the break, this gets this team going. He's not even looking at the... I think he was looking at Michael Jordan.
You know what they say, your idols become your rivals. And do y'all think Michael Jordan's still the GOAT? Let me know in the comments. If you thought Michael Jordan was tortured in a playoff series, listen what happened in Gilbert Arenas. LeBron tortured him so much that he had to get a therapist to question his whole life. In 2006, Gilbert Arenas met LeBron James and the Cavaliers in the first round of the playoffs. With Cleveland up by 3-2 in the series, Game 6 was down to the wire. With 15 seconds left in overtime, Wizards were down 113 to 112, and Arenas had a chance to take the lead with 2 free throws. Arenas missed the first free throw, and before he took the second, LeBron approached to him and said this: "If you miss this, you know the series is over, right?" And Arenas missed the second. Arenas said LeBron James made him feel human for a second. Arenas recalls after the game that he went to take 3,000 free throws and took it a step further by going to a therapist as he was mentally disturbed by what LeBron said to him during that incident. Who knew that Arenas was never the same again after that series? Yikes. And you thought Arenas suffered enough from LeBron's wrath? Now imagine getting disrespected while your teammate is also getting disrespected in the same series by the same guy. LeBron has had feuds with different people in the league, but no one can come close to his beef with Deshaun Stevenson. It started when Deshaun called LeBron overrated, but LeBron clapped back and said it's almost like Jay-Z saying something bad about Soulja Boy. Stevenson embraced the Soulja Boy comparison and even said that he will get Soulja Boy courtside seats if they faced off in the playoffs. And true enough, Stevenson's Wizards and LeBron's Cavs met in the playoffs. The Cavs took an early 2-0 lead, and in Game 3, Soulja Boy came wearing a Deshaun Stevenson jersey. Wizards dominated Game 3, but 2 days after, LeBron's friend, Jay-Z, released a freestyle titled "Blow the Whistle," which was clearly a reference to Deshaun Stevenson. And to make matters worse, the song debuted at a DC nightclub. Stevenson felt disrespected and said this: "They're taking it beyond basketball to me." The Cavs went on to defeat the Wizards in 6 games, and Stevenson learned his lesson to never have beef with the king. LeBron James has had many disrespectful moments, but one thing's for sure, LeBron's already made a living playing in the NBA. LeBron has already made more than $1 billion in his career, and he's about to make more. If you're curious to how LeBron spends his millions, you can click this video here, and I'll see you there.